Welcome to the Livfiit Listens podcast, a safe space of growth, personal development, and overall wellness with your host, Olivia Catania. Diving into the realms of all things health, conscious living, mental expansion, and much more, this podcast is designed to help you evolve into your best self and live fit. Let's get into the show. Hello, you guys. What's up? Welcome back to the Livfiit Listens podcast. Today we're on episode 83. I'm feeling so excited and juiced up to podcast today. It felt so right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it was, but I just was like, I'm so excited to sit down and talk with you guys. I know it was literally 1 week where we had a guest on, but for some reason that made it feel like I haven't spoken to you guys in weeks for whatever reason. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode 82. I had my dad on the podcast, which he was a very long-awaited, very anticipated guest. When I was first introducing him, I was like, the one and only, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, don't say that. That's making me sound too important and I'm not, blah, blah. And I was like, Joe, you're so cute and humble. But it really was the one and only Joe Catania, my father. And I feel like the episode went really well. I was so happy to have him. It was definitely a very motivational episode, but I felt like he dropped so much wisdom there. And I just feel like he really inspires me in terms of being my best self and seeing what I can accomplish and achieve in life, And so I just really wanted to share that with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that episode if you did listen to it. So my gratitude for this episode actually is going to be, it's kind of enwrapped in a story I have to share with you guys, because basically the whole story is about how I felt super grateful about something. So bear with me, hold tight for my gratitude, because it pretty much has everything to do with this episode in its entirety, the whole point of the episode. So we're going to get to gratitude in a second. But before we dive into the episode, I have a couple big things that I want to really bring home to you guys. So first and foremost, I have launched a sticker collection. I feel like that may seem out of the blue if you're just solely a podcast listener. I have been mentioning it on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, but I realized that I haven't said it on my podcast. And I always forget that the podcast only goes live once a week. And so I kind of forget to time things and I should have said it on Monday's episode with my dad, but I forgot. Anyways, I did launch a sticker collection, which I'm super, super excited about. This has been something that I've wanted to do for a year now. I really did this in 2020 when I had a really small audience. I made them completely by myself. I had a small launch and I actually gave them away completely for free back then, because I only had a few thousand followers on Instagram, and that was it in my entirety. And I remember doing that. I just have always loved stickers, and it was always something I really loved to do. So that's why I say that as to why the fact that I did it back in 2020. And then I think I did another redrop of those same stickers 6 months later or so, but they were the same sticker design, exact same thing as I had done previously. They were still free because my audience was still only 3,000 followers, 4,000 followers on Instagram maybe. And then a year ago, I wanted to relaunch and actually do official stickers, in the sense of emerging into the merch lane, and I wanted to be official. But I couldn't, I really struggled to find, to actually bring the design that I wanted to life, because I'm not super proficient in Illustrator or anything like that. So I was doing what I could on Canva, and it just wasn't cutting it, and I just wasn't lit up by the design. I did show you guys on Instagram, and a good amount of you guys actually really liked it, but I just was I want to feel juiced up when I look at this sticker, and it just wasn't happening for me. So anyways, long story short, I ended up finding this designer totally in divine timing. It was before I actually went to Costa Rica. She's a graphic designer. She does collections for this other influencer that I love her content, and I love this. Her name's Caitlin, the designer. I love her style, and it was totally, it's super vibrant and young. It's it was exactly the vibe that I had been wanting, and I was this is it. And at the same time, she was running a deal, and I was now's the time, even if I'm not ready to launch these right now, I should just start working on these designs and then kind of go from there. So anyways, I took that as a sign and I just went for it. And I'm someone who works slowly, especially because I'm kind of a perfectionist. So I don't like to have to rush things. I like to really refine things and make things perfect, which is a blessing and a curse. So I've slowly been working on it for the last few months. And then I finally was ready to actually allocate time for this, set up my website, actually order the stickers and everything. So the designs have been ready for quite a bit, for a month or so, maybe more. But now was the time where it felt right for me to actually launch. And I'm so freaking excited about these stickers, you guys. They are so like, they're exactly what I wanted. They totally finally bring my vision to life. Like, I'm so beyond thankful for Caitlin because I feel like she was the medium for me to finally like communicate what I've been trying to communicate through my like creative vision with these sticker designs. So I absolutely love them. They light me up. We have 3 different designs that are launching. I will also have my shop linked in the show notes if you're looking to buy, and also in the description box of the YouTube video. And you can buy the stickers either completely separately or all 3 together for a little bit of a discount as like a little sticker pack. So the first sticker that I have is a little butterfly, of course, because that's the main kind of logo of this brand, and it really stands for evolution, right? Going from the caterpillar to the butterfly. So it's this really beautiful scene in the upper wings where we have a sun, and inside the sun is the yin yang symbol, which you guys know if you're avid listeners to this podcast, that's where I always kind of, my analogy for how I see life, like that there's just the law of polarity where there's on, there is off, everything has a place, you know, everyone and everything has a place, everything has a balance, there's checks and balances, and there's some good in the bad, and there's some bad in the good, there's good and bad in everything. So that's what I really wanted to encapsulate with bringing that yin yang symbol to that design. And there's also hearts as the dots within the yin yang symbol in the sun, and now is supposed to serve as a reminder to like do all things in love. And then there's a wave in front of that sun to basically portray my love for the water. I'm a Cancer sign, so I'm a water sign. And also just kind of remind you guys to, like, you know, the saying, ride the wave, go with the flow, remind you of the fluidity of life. And then at the bottom, it says kind of not in your face, which is what I wanted. It subtly says Livfiit at the bottom of the wings, which I love that. And that's, of course, to serve as a reminder to live fit, right? My whole entire brand, but physically, mentally, and soulfully. So with these stickers, I didn't want them to come across as like a walking billboard. Like, I wanted them to be a really cool, funky, stylish, vibey sticker pack that like you would want to use. So all my branding on these stickers is super minimal. You can find Livfiit, but it's not like right in your face, which is what I wanted. Second sticker that we have is the Evolve into Your Best Self sticker. Love how this one came out because in the O, it's like a yin yang symbol again. And there's a little butterfly a little caterpillar evolving into a butterfly, which is so freaking cute. And they're supposed to mimic like the dots of the yin yang symbol. I'm literally freaking obsessed with it. It totally encapsulates like because that's the whole slogan, especially for this podcast, evolve into your best self. And that's like it just goes so well together. I love it because, again, butterflies is like my logo. So it just goes so well together. I love the way it's written. And then it has little Livfiit down at the bottom in baby pink. I love the color scheme of these designs as well. It's like baby pink, blue, a darker blue, and like a yellow. Chef's kiss. I'm obsessed with it. And then our final sticker, again, you can click the link down below if you want to see actual visuals of these stickers. They're right on my website. It's livfiit.com/shop. But our last sticker is the mantra sticker, is what I titled it. I'm obsessed with this sticker. I'm obsessed with this design in general. I had such a strong vision for what I wanted this design to be, and Caitlin completely perfectly brought it to life. I basically wrote out a bunch of different quotes and mantras that I really love and things that I like to live by, sent them to her. I kind of like wrote out how I wanted them to look, and she just ran with it and totally made it like the way we worked together, I felt like was so perfect. So anyways, it basically just has a bunch of different quotes like gratitude is the attitude, your mindset matters, awareness is truth, vibe higher. I'm not looking at the sticker right now, but it has like practice presence. It basically just has like a bunch of really cute little mantras like live and love to remind you of like how to show up for like your day to day with, and just like remind you of the energy that you want to embody. That's what that sticker really meant to me. And then it says Livfiit really cutely again down at the bottom. So I'm literally could not be more obsessed with these stickers. And so yeah, if you guys want to rep them, if you want to rep the brand, if you are just a sticker person and like some cute stickers, they're great. They fit on your phone. You can put them on your computer. You can put them on a journal. You can put them on your suitcase. Someone on my YouTube live stream said she wants to put them on her mirror, which I think is so cute and perfect because they really have such great messages tied to them and reminders to them. So I really hope when you see these stickers, they just serve as a really great self-serving reminder to help you get into a positive headspace to help align you for your day. Like, that's the least that I hope these stickers can do for you. So again, you can find them on my website, livfiit.com/shop if they're of interest to you. I am about halfway through my stock on the stickers though, just to let you guys know, to like gauge where we are. Like I said, I did launch these 2 days ago. So we're like halfway through the stock. So if you really want to make sure that you get stickers, I would definitely recommend just getting them sooner rather than later. Not to rush you guys, but just giving you some perspective of how many stickers are left. So next thing I have to say, I know this is a really long intro, but there's some really important things. So second thing is I need to give you guys a retreat update. So in terms of my Bali retreat that's happening next May, I have had 2 more signups. So 2 more spots have filled up. I just want to give you guys a status report of how many seats are left. I am also in contact with a couple of people as well who are trying to get their ducks in a row, basically in the sense of like trying to coordinate to really make it happen, whether that's financially, sorting out traveling plans, work things like that. So I just say that to let you guys know, give you guys a status of how many kind of seats are left if you guys are looking to come. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, DM me on Instagram. Again, that's where I've been talking with a few people, trying just answer their questions, going back and forth with them. I totally understand how big of a commitment this is, a financial commitment, a time commitment. I know there takes so much coordination and so much goes into being able to come. So I totally have compassion with that. So I want to be here for you guys. I want to be a resource for you guys if you guys have any questions. I just am so confident in how powerful of an experience this is. So I'm definitely want to be there to help you guys work through any doubts or hesitations or concerns that your ego may be feeding you, but you know that your heart is pulling you there. So if you are feeling that heart pull, but you kind of want some more clarity, trust me, I ain't pushy in the DMs at all. I'm totally here just to talk about it if you have any questions, but I would recommend reaching out sooner rather than later, again, because also it is a long haul to Bali. So we want to make sure we're starting to plan now, rather than kind of waiting a few more months and having less time to actually plan your flights and your trips and organizing work and all that sort of stuff. So the sooner that we can kind of get talking about this, the better. Spots are filling up. So if you're someone who's really curious about Bali, you're feeling really pulled to Bali, and you have any questions, please reach out to me. If not, definitely look into getting your ticket because some spots are filling up. And also, for what it's worth, 30% of the girls from previous retreats have rejoined this Bali one, which I think is the coolest freaking thing ever. I think it really just speaks on behalf of how powerful they thought the experience was and how much they got out of the experience itself. So again, all the information is also going to be linked down below in the show notes or in the description box. If you're watching on YouTube, it shows the whole entire itinerary, everything that's included in your ticket, what's not included in your ticket, all of the workshops I'm going to be hosting of mindfulness, of journaling, meditating, and the workouts that are going to be there. All the information that you need to know is going to be linked in the link in the show notes. So I would love to see you guys there. I'm really so excited about it. I know it's such an impactful experience and it's such an amazing way to also just see the world and meet new girlfriends, if anything, like at the very least. It also makes me so happy because both of the retreat group messages from both waves of Costa Rica are still active, and it's so cute, like hearing all the girls still talking in the group message. Like, it just has blown my mind that like there's truly genuine friendships that have came from those retreats, and it just is so, it warms my heart so much. And like, we'll just get messages from people in the group messages like, oh, thinking of you guys, I miss you guys. Like, people are having dreams about our retreat and like all this stuff. And it just shows like how impactful the experience really is. I hold it so near and dear to my heart, and it just makes me so freaking excited to experience it in a new way with new girls in Bali this coming May. All right, guys, let's get into this episode. That was the longest introduction in a while. Sorry about that, but sister's got to do some announcements. Okay, so basically, this whole episode, we haven't done an episode really geared towards towards gratitude in a long time. And I feel like, obviously, I'm such an advocate for practicing gratitude. I think gratitude is everything. Gratitude is truly what changed my life. And I don't know, it really, truly, genuinely scares me where I would be mentally if I never started practicing gratitude. Like, I know my quality and potency and vibrancy of life would not be half of what it is today. So I'm really so passionate about gratitude. So I really want to dedicate a whole episode to it and talk about it, in case maybe you think it's like cliche, or you hear people being like, yeah, I'm grateful, blah, 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 but you don't like fully get the potency of it. I hope that this episode can kind of awaken you in a different way and really see how life-changing it really is to be looking at life through a lens of gratitude. So we're going to take this back. This is a little story time. This happened Thursday night, I believe, Thursday evening. And it was just like vibey altogether. It was one of those like late night. I was going to the gym at like 5:45, 6 o'clock, which is like late for me now. And it was rainy and dreary that day. And I also had to hit legs. Okay, perfect storm. Anything post 5:30, having to hit legs on like a damp dark day. Like it just was not a good scene. So I was really struggling to like get motivated. And I went to the gym, and the thing is sometimes like those are truly the best workouts when you don't want to go, because it's like you have so much more respect for yourself in that workout because like you were there and you got it done. You know what I mean? I also did take Oxy Shred, so I was nice and juiced, and like that always gets me so laser focused. But anyways, during the workout, it was like thunderstorming like pretty loudly, and so it just was a vibe. It was raining, thunderstorming, lightning, like it was like lighting up the gym. That's how strong it was lightning outside. I ended up having such a good workout. I was feeling so strong. I was feeling really mentally into it. And those workouts, the reason why I'm giving you this backstory is because those types of workouts always trigger so much emotion within me. Like I just feel really proud of myself, and it gets me like nostalgic in the way of like I start getting reflective of just like my past and like how I've gotten to where I am today and things like that. I just kind of get reflective of life and like nostalgic in an interesting way. And it just really makes me feel so alive, and it brings up so much emotion in me in the best way. So I love those types of workouts. So anyways, that was kind of my emotional state when I left the gym. At this point, it was like 7:45. It was still dreary. It was kind of drizzling. And so I was like feeling all juiced, like my soul is out of my body. And then when I walked outside of the gym, it was still like drizzling a little bit. So I had like a little rain shower. I did like a little rain dance for a hot second. I was like, wow, I feel so alive, and I'm so grateful to be. Then I get in the car. I feel like this is such a long-winded story, but I promise that like I'm taking you guys somewhere. No pun intended, because I said we're getting in the car. No, so anyways, I get in the car. Still drearing. It's getting dark now. I go to do a right on red at a stoplight. I see this guy at the crosswalk. Him and I make eye contact, but it didn't like cross my mind like, oh, maybe he has like the crosswalk sign is on. So I still go and do my right on red. Then as I'm turning, it like hits me. I'm like, oh shit, like does he have the crosswalk sign? Like did he almost start? Well, like should I have waited for him essentially? And then I look in my rearview mirror and I see him crossing, and I was like, oh damn. And it was one of those like, oh, hypothetical, whoa, could you imagine moment if I didn't see him or if we didn't see each other, and you know the negative of the situation came out of it if I had hit him or something crazy. It was just one of those like, whoa, what if moments. That's crazy. And so in my head I was like, wow, thank you, Uni, because that's kind of my own like faith practice. I'm like, oh, thank you, Uni, for like keeping, you know, both of us safe. And after I like thought that in my head, like I had such an overwhelming, huge wave of gratitude just completely and utterly wash over me. And it was just so liberating, but I felt it so hard, because the reason why is because after I thought like, oh, thank you for keeping us safe, it made me realize all the minute things that we're doing constantly every single day that are blessings, simply because things had gone smoothly. And like after I thought about that, and after I felt like such a huge wave of gratitude was like bringing up emotion in me, I was like getting emotional. A car drove by that had 888 on the license plate, and I was like, Uni, don't even get started with me, because I've been like getting really back into, I've been having way better meditations again. And I just feel like I've been tapping more into my spirituality again. I feel like that relationship kind of always goes in waves. And so I've been feeling really close to my spirituality lately. And it was just like such a beautiful, vibey moment. Again, it's still like kind of drizzling outside. It's like dusky outside. You know, so much emotion came over me. That car drove by. It just was like a really beautiful moment. And so I wanted to basically expand on what I'm saying of how hard and how clear that message came through to me about blessings. Basically, the best way for me to explain it is kind of like through an example. Like the fact that I was able to get in the car, drive to the gym, have a workout, come back from the gym, and have nothing went wrong. Everything went so smoothly. And like for me, that's something that's so mundane, like borderline an everyday task for me. And that's something that so many people wouldn't even think of to like stop and be grateful for. But like the fact that nothing happened to the car, the fact that I didn't get in an accident, the fact that I didn't pull a muscle in the gym, the fact that I was able to drive home safely, the fact that nothing happened to the car when I was driving home. It's like there were so many blessings in that small one, event that you have in my day, when we have so many different events happening in our days. That was just one of them that encompassed so many different blessings in that one event of our life, of our day, when so many other events are happening in the same way that goes so smoothly, but we just don't even acknowledge the blessings that were in that mundane task, because it just what I'm saying, it's turned into something mundane. It's something that we just expect. It's something that we overlook now. And so we don't even pay any mind to these things that are just mundane tasks in our life that are filled with so many blessings. We just shrug. We're like, what do you mean? It's like every day. It's like we don't even have the awareness anymore of so many blessings that are happening in our life. And it's like, it's almost like the absence of it's more so I want to explain. It's like the absence of quote unquote problems are something to be so grateful for. Like what I'm saying, how like I didn't get into an accident. I didn't pull anything. I didn't, the car didn't break down or anything. Like the fact that none of those things happened, that is something to be grateful for. However, we just don't even pay any mind to that. And we tend to only be grateful when something like huge or monumental happens that we think is great. Then we feel like we have the right to be grateful for something. Then we feel like we're abundant in something, or like when a solution to a problem that we're having comes in, then we feel like we can be finally grateful for something. But it's like, what about all the bazillion of other blessings that we're receiving literally every single day? What about the blessing that you woke up this morning and you didn't even have a sniffly nose, that you didn't have a headache, that you weren't sick, that you didn't fall and have to go to the hospital today, that you have a sense of community? Like there's just the fact that you're safe, the fact that right now I'm able to podcast in my house and no one broke into my house, that it's just, do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't know if I'm like bringing it home the right way, but it's like simply the fact of things running smoothly that has 15,000 blessings in that one event, that one action, but we just don't pay any mind to it because it's turned into something mundane. So we completely overlooked it. And so since it's like we have what those things, it's kind of like supply and demand, what I'm thinking about right now, when it's like you have so many blessings, it's like they don't feel, since they're not like scarce or like they're not like rare to come by, we're just like, it's like nothing. We don't see it as valuable anymore. It's like, it's pretty often that we're able to drive from point A to point B and like get there safe. Like it tends to be rare to get into an accident compared to how much everyone's driving. So we just kind of like overlook it. It doesn't seem any, so special anymore. But like doing that robs us of seeing the magic in life that's happening every day. It robs us from the appreciation and gratitude that we would have in our hearts if we were to actually acknowledge and appreciate all those things. And it's like with that, it's like, this means that blessings are so completely abundant in all of our lives. Like we're constantly, like if you think of it this way, what I'm saying, that all these minute things, like if you look at it this way, the fact that I was able to make breakfast and nothing caught on fire, it's like when you look at it this way, of all these little mundane things that are actually have so many blessings wrapped into them, but we just take them for granted because we think it's our everyday, how our everyday pans out, when really there could have totally been a chance for something problematic to arise, but we just don't even thinking about it. Like those blessings that we have over and over and over all day shows how abundant we are. Like we're constantly getting blessed, guided, and protected by the universe all the time. Yet somehow we only feel like we can be grateful once we have a certain amount of money in the bank, or once we get this certain job title, or once we get this status, or once we get this girlfriend, once we get this boyfriend. It's like, then we think once we get something external, or basically on the egoic plane, then we think we can feel abundant, when we're truly getting blessed with abundance every day, 100 times a day. Like literally, how about this? Every single time you have an ounce of hunger, the fact that you can walk down into your kitchen, open up some sort of cabinet, fridge, freezer, and find something to put in your mouth, you wouldn't even think about that to be something that you're grateful for. But could you imagine if you had absolutely nothing in your home to eat? You would be literally a mess. Could you imagine if you were so thirsty and you're like, I'm just going to go and fill up my glass of water, and you didn't have any water coming out of your faucet or whatever? You would be awry. So it's like, all these things that seem so given, that seem so we just act from entitlement sometimes because we're human, right? We're not perfect. And we have again, and I don't blame us because it is a part of everyday life. That's like a part of us reincarnating here on earth. But it's like, it's something for us to still to recognize and appreciate. Like we just can't lose sight of things just because there's, because it's happening frequently in our life. That doesn't mean that we need to lose appreciation for it. And it's kind of like, now talking through this, it's kind of an interesting dynamic between, abundance versus lack, and kind of back to that supply and demand analogy that I said, because it's kind of like the more abundance you have in a weird way, the less special it seems because it's so potent, you know what I mean? So it seems like that's your new normal. It doesn't seem as rare. So it doesn't seem as something for you to like be all googly eyed over, which is so interesting, because yet at the same time, so many of us want to live a life full of abundance. But it's like, how do you intend to live a life full of abundance if you can never appreciate those things that are making you abundant? Do you know what I mean? It's like, how are you ever going to be in alignment with that, / how are you ever supposed to actually appreciate it and call it into your reality if you're constantly overlooking it? And I've been like really putting way more time and energy into just like doing my spiritual practice again and like really working on my mindset again. I feel like I kind of was letting it coast for a little bit, and I feel like I've been taking more control of it, taking more control over it again, and just being overall more mindful and like practicing more consciousness. And like, it's so insane. Absolutely insane how much better I feel, not only like mentally, but also just like in my reality. Like, it's so insane how much better I feel mentally, but also better in my reality, and like more things that are coming into my life when I focus on my blessings. Like, I think it just makes your perception so much more hopeful and like appreciative. Like, it makes you realize like, oh my gosh, there's all these great things to live for, as opposed to if you're like focusing on a lack mindset or feeling like you never have enough. Like, I feel like I was really kind of getting into that rat race a little bit a few months ago, where I just kind of felt like it made me feel unfulfilled. It made me feel like nothing was working, because I was kind of in this lack mindset / I just wasn't taking the time to really count my blessings. And it just makes life feel so much more dull. It makes life feel harder. It makes life feel like things are against your favor, like things aren't working in your favor. So like, actually practicing gratitude regularly has helped me have such a more hopeful mindset. It's made me be so much more optimistic. It's made me be so much more excited, made me feel so much more fulfilled. It makes me feel like there's so much more opportunity. It makes me feel like, oh my gosh, look at all these things that are working out for me. Look at all these things I have to be grateful for, as opposed to focusing on the things that I don't have. And it's like, when you do that, it helps you feel good, right? All those adjectives are just all feel good adjectives. And when you feel good, you do better, you perform better, you do better work, you show up better, you're kinder. And so when you are a better human, you get better results. And whichever way you want to take that, literally or not literally, it's just true. It's like you get out what you put in, right? That's a very standard quote, nothing new there. So it's like, being, focusing on your mindset and being more appreciative of things helps you take that appreciation, and that shows up in your work. And then that's going to therefore impact kind of what you're getting out of everything that you do. And I think it's so crazy, because with actually practicing gratitude, it's like not necessarily, and I think this is where I lose people, or people in general get lost by the spiritual community, where they feel like they don't resonate, because sometimes I feel like there's a misconception and it's like, oh, just be grateful, and then poof, you're going to get this crazy new job deal, or you're going to get this crazy vacation for free. It's not necessarily that you're like completely creating something out of thin air. I describe it as you just changing your perspective to see something now that was always there. You have to understand, we're all timelines, all versions of ourselves, all blessings, everything that we're wanting already is existing in this plane, in this timeline. It already exists. And so it's kind of up to us, kind of that same analogy as like tuning into a radio station. It's up to us to kind of align ourselves into whatever timeline, whatever life that we're wanting to live. So again, it's not like we're sitting here reinventing a whole new lane, right? It's just us looking at having more awareness. We're understanding all of our lane options now. And then it's about consciously choosing what lane you want to put yourself in, or essentially what life and what lifestyle you actually want to be living. So it's kind of like, if you're sitting with your head down and you're working on building a sandcastle, and you're trying to look for a bottle cap or something to really round out that sandcastle, whatever you want to use it for. And you're looking, down really close to the sand, you can't see anything. And then your friend's like, oh, dude, just like turn around. There's some more behind you. And you turn around and there's like 50 bottle caps right there. It's nothing that you did. It's not necessarily that you you waved your magic wand and you made these bottle caps appear for your sandcastle. You simply just opened up your perception and you turned around and you understood there was more still available to you. So it's like those things are always there. All of the blessings that we're wanting are always here in life. It's about doing that mindset work, opening our souls, right? Doing that mental expansion to then take a step back and have the awareness of all the things that are around us. And I think that's the biggest misconception with people in so many different ways. It's like, you can use that analogy to everything. Like so much in mindset, we think it's so concrete about one way. when in reality, we do have so many options, but it's like it's your mindset that's making you so narrow-minded and thinking this is your small circle of options. When if you actually like took a step back, you realize that's a small circle inside of a massive circle. That kind of thing where it's like we're not reinventing the wheel or inventing things out of thin air. These things already exist. It's about you now attuning your awareness and your perception to actually being aware of them. Another great analogy of this is, it's like, for example, my boyfriend just got a new car and it's a car that I never have paid attention to. And now, like, because it's like, I didn't even know it existed. So it's like, it didn't even exist in my world, but just because it didn't exist in my world, which is just my perception, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist at all, right? So this is huge. So he always knew of this car. It's a Lexus GX 470 or something of the sorts. And he had known of those cars. That's why he was looking to buy it. I literally had never heard of it until he had brought it up. So I never really had seen, I never really paid attention to those cars on the road. Now when he tells me he got this new car, I've seen his car, I'm in his car. Now my perception understands that these things exist. And now when we're on the road, I'm like, hey, look, there's your car. There's your car. It's not that I never got passed by these cars before, but it's just now I'm aware of them. I notice them because I've opened up my perception and now I'm aware of them. And that's so many things. Like that applies to everything. I feel like I'm really going off in a whole different direction in this podcast episode, but it does still kind of play a role. It's like that is so imperative when it comes to like quote unquote creating your dream life and all this mindset work and manifestation. It's not about waving your magic wand. It's about opening your perception so that you can actually be aware and notice these opportunities when they come into your life. It's so that you can actually notice when a good thing comes into your life rather than just completely overlooking it. And kind of with that same thing with that radio station, it's kind of like being able to become more of an energetic match. Like when you're more grateful and you're embodying that frequency, like gratitude is a frequency, right? It's a state of being that you're operating at. So when you're more grateful, you become more magnetic and you're an energetic match to more things of that same frequency, right? Like attracts like. So when you're in that grateful frequency, you attune yourself to be more of an energetic match to more things to be grateful for. So it's just like tuning in to a different radio station. It's like you're tuning your frequency to that timeline, to that version of yourself that is like engulfed in so many blessings. But again, in order to get there, you have to be feeling those emotions of gratitude, that frequency of gratitude, and you need to be embodying it. And the only way to do that is to be appreciative of even the smallest things so you can really see how grateful you really are. So I hope that this story really just helped to bring more awareness to you guys and see that there's literally things to be grateful for, like 100 times a day, every single day. Like so many freaking things. The fact that I was able to make a smoothie today and the blender didn't break. When was the last time you made a smoothie or you toasted a piece of toast and you're like, I'm so thankful my toaster worked again? Like, not a lot of people think that, but it's like that was a blessing in your day. Because on the contrary, if your toaster did break, your whole entire day would fall apart, right? But for some reason, your whole day isn't built on a pedestal when it does work smoothly. It's only when it doesn't work, your whole entire day falls apart. So it's like, what I'm trying to say with that is like, if you can let your whole day be ruined by your toaster not working, how come your whole day can't be made by your toaster working smoothly? Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's just like, we're constantly getting blessed all the time. And that is the perfect life example showing us and proving to us that we are constantly so abundant every single day. We are constantly being blessed all the time, every single day. We have an abundance of blessings all around us in our life. So there's no reason for us to constantly feel this sense of lack or that we're not doing enough or we're not as lucky as the person next to us. Like we're all so damn lucky based on all the blessings that we're experiencing every single day. And with that, I hope that example proves to you that you are an abundant human being. Because that's been a huge affirmation that I've also been telling myself lately. Like, we are all so abundant. And those blessings that seem so little to us every single day are actually huge. And they're living proof of just how abundant beings we actually are. And it's something to really be appreciative of, because once you can actually be appreciative of how abundant your life is and how blessed you really are, that's when your life starts to get really freaking good and you're able to feel the true vibrancy of life and you're able to truly feel like what it means to actually be alive rather than just feeling like you're living. Oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, what is it called? The video on the camera just said 11:11. It's been 11 minutes and 11 seconds. That's crazy. Thank you, confirmation again, Uni. Okay. So for the affirmation for this episode, I love this. Okay. This is a good affirmation. Sorry, I forgot I wrote it. Okay. I have abundant, countless, endless blessings coming my way every single day. Like, hello. Talk about getting juiced. I have abundant, countless, endless blessings coming my way every single day. Hell yeah. It's true though, you guys. It's true. We're so blessed. We're so protected. We're so guided. And anytime you ever doubt that, please focus your attention on the quote unquote small things. And you're going to be proof of like, oh my gosh, there are so many abundant millions of little blessings right here that I totally weren't overlooking. And I have all these things right here just being living proof of how abundant I am and how many blessings the universe has given me today. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode. Again, if you're looking or interested to purchasing some stickers, if you want to support this brand or if you want to rep this brand, you can buy them again at the link down below in the description box or the show notes. It's by livfiit.com/shop. And if you are interested in joining my retreat in Bali, again, the link is also down below in the show notes. If you want to find out any of the information about the whole entire retreat, you can also message me on Instagram as well. Ask me any questions that you have. And even if you just kind of want to bounce off some questions off me and just kind of figure out what more of you can expect, totally understand that. And I'm so happy to do that for you. Again, if you're trying to support this podcast in a way that's completely free to you, you could either respond to the Q&A section at the bottom of this episode. I always love reading those responses, or you could leave a rating and review if you haven't already on Apple Music or Spotify. It really helps this podcast grow and reach more people. Thank you guys so much for your time today. I really hope this episode hit home for you guys and really struck a good chord in you. I'm sending you guys so much love, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.